y'all. Andrea Glass, IFBB Fitness Pro, Ben Weeder Naturals, millionth place. I don't know what place I got, 7th, 6th. I literally don't know what place I got because it wasn't in the top 5. Anyway, Emerald Cup Pro, 5th place, Arnold. Anyway, you guys don't really care about my credentials. I don't have any credentials. Okay, so in our fitness chat, Fitness Alliance group, somebody asked a question. She's like, hey, Legion's coming up. It's my pro debut. What do I need to know? And then somebody else who also is doing a pro debut the next weekend is like, yeah, great question. I'm also doing a pro debut. And then we just kind of started chit-chatting. Well, I actually didn't participate in the conversation because I'm driving now, but I started to read the messages. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to do a video because why not make another YouTube video? So I'm going to go over, 3 to 5 things that I think you should know or prepare for or whatever for your pro debut. These are kind of in no particular order, just the order that I'm thinking of them. So the first one is just enjoy the experience and have fun. And I know for, if you're a professional bodybuilder, you're an IFBB pro, you're probably not someone who typically just does things for fun. You're probably someone who is very competitive. You're a highly competitive, high performing athlete. So the idea of just having fun, for you, you're probably like, yeah, I'm going to have fun if I win. I'll have fun if I win. I'll have fun if I rank. But ultimately, remove the pressure to be competitive because it's just a learning experience, right? Like a lot of us, not everybody, but like a lot of us turned pro. And obviously when you turn pro, you were the best person at the competition. A lot of us are used to being the best person at the competition. And then you get to the pros and everybody was the best person at the competition. And not only that, a lot of those people have years and years and years of experience on you. So just take the pressure off. Yes, do your best. Yes, work your hardest. Yes, be as competitive as you possibly can be. However, remove the pressure to get a certain ranking or be in the first call out or, remove the pressure of things that you can't control. You can control being at your best, but you can't control if you're in the first call out or not. You can't control if somebody else had a better routine than you. You can't control if you rank in the top 5 or not. Okay, the second thing, which is pretty much on the same wavelength, same street, is to meet people and like sincerely try to have fun. So not just in the competition part of it. I mean, you are going to be competing against all the same people. You're going to see the same people at these shows over and over again. You're going to be backstage with the same people. You're going to be maybe doing post-show celebrations. You're going to be doing all this stuff with the same people for most of your career, right? So connect with people. Like if you are someone who likes to keep to yourself, like I'm a very antisocial person. But I also know like when you see the same people at every single show, like you just start to build a bond and don't be afraid to do that. I'm not saying you have to be all chit-chatty backstage if you're someone who's like all super focused, but after you get off stage or, whatever it is, don't be afraid to like build those bonds because that makes the experience so much better and it's so much more than the actual competition part of this. So don't be afraid to, people that you've been chit-chatting with on Instagram or people that are doing the same show as you, like reach out. Me and a couple of my friends for Legion we have dinner reservations for after the show because we're like, look, we're not traveling with anybody. Let's go to dinner at Emerald Cup. Amanda invited me to dinner because I was by myself and she lived locally. So just don't be afraid to connect with other people. Like that is, in my opinion, besides performing, that is the most fun part about fitness is that because we're such a small group, we see the same people over and over again and we can't actually become real friends. Okay, another thing, I'm inserting this clip. Another thing I want to add about like meeting people and it makes the whole experience better. Honestly, being friends with people makes losing a lot easier. Like, because all of us, literally every single one of us is going to lose more often than we win. Being friends with the people you're competing with makes losing easier because you don't take it. I mean, obviously, like if you worked really hard, obviously like you're going to take it as hard as you're going to take it, but it's easier to be happy for someone who beat you if you have a connection with that person, right? So like I just think of Titans last year. It was my last chance. After getting 3 second places in a row, it was my last chance to qualify for the Olympia, and I got second place. But you know what? I was so excited for Taylor. I was so happy to see Taylor. In fact, Taylor was the one that said, hey, Andrea, come do this show. We should do this show together. I was so happy for Taylor that it made me getting second place and not qualifying for last year's Olympia a lot easier. So anyway, that's, like I said, again, a big part of this. Yes, the competition is a competition, but the bigger part of it is the relationships that you form. So don't be afraid to make friends. Let's see. Third, be on time. I don't know where you have to be, what time you have to be there, but be on time and actually be a little bit early. Not because, you know, you're going to miss something or anything like that, but I just know on your, you know, especially your pro debut, there's so many other things to be nervous and worried about. Like, we all are going to find something to be worried about. You don't want to be rushing and missing your opportunity. You know, like, okay, if I have to be, the show starts at this time, okay, I want to pump up at this time, right? Well, right as soon as you start your pump up, they're calling glue and glaze. Fitness, get lined up. I need you to come get glued and glaze. And then by the time you're glued and glaze, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go back to pumping up. Line up right now. And you're like, oh my gosh, I barely had time to do anything. So just be early. You don't want to run out of time to warm up. You don't want to run out of time to pump up. You don't want to, and not only do you not want to run out of time, you don't want to feel like you're running out of time. Because sometimes you're not running out of time, but you just like feel a level of stress because the expediters backstage are like, get lined up. Where's number 9? You're like, I'm number 9. I'm right here. I just have to go to the bathroom. Just be early to your makeup, to your tan, to whatever you have to be early to. Just be a little bit early so that you are not stressed about feeling like you are missing something or you're behind or you don't have enough time to physically or mentally prepare for whatever it is. Then number 4, I would say just like ask questions. The expediters can answer pretty much most of your questions, but just generally, you know, for the pros, typically I don't think they really do this in amateurs, I don't know, but you know, they bring us all out in groups. How does prejudging work? They bring us all out in groups. If it's a small group, it's just one group. If it's 2 groups, it's 2 groups, whatever, just to do a first round of quarters. Great. Then you come out and do your individual routines, and then they do call outs and they do comparisons. So, you know, I ask still every show, are we going to do groups first? Because sometimes they just go straight to individual routines. So I like to ask, are we going to do groups first? Just so I know like what's about to happen on stage. Ask at check-ins, or which side are we walking in and out of? Some of y'all don't practice walking in from both sides. Some of y'all don't practice walking off both sides. So ask at check-ins or whatever, hey, what side are we going in and out of? For me personally, on check-in day, I also ask if I can get on stage. That's just my personal thing because I do a lot of bounding skills and I have like a routine that moves around a lot. So I want to get on stage the day before the show so I can mark my routine at my own pace with no other people and I can feel that stage on my own. That is completely optional, but that is something that I like to do because I am a highly anxious person. So let's see. Ask questions, see if you can get on stage. For finals, whatever time they say to warm up, obviously if you need to warm up. And then I don't know, I kind of feel like that's what you need to know about your pro debut. Get there, get it done, have fun, get your feedback, you guys. Stay after and ask for feedback. Personally, I know what my physique feedback is personally, but ask for both. What's your feedback on my physique? What's your feedback on my routine? And again, personally, I'm taking at least routine feedback slightly with a grain of salt because every judge is going to have a different preference. So you have to figure out, you can't just change your routine every time one judge tells you something about that routine, but try to generalize it and think, okay, where can I make that improvement? Like for instance, and then I'm going to end this video because this is not about me. This is not my personal vlog, although you can follow my vlog. At the Arnold, Sandy suggested that I start my routine with my running tumbling pass so that it's more exciting. But for me, I'm like, that doesn't make sense for my routine because the beginning part of my music is slow and then it gets faster and that's when I tumble. So I kind of took that with a grain of salt. However, I was thinking, okay, but my opening does need to be stronger. That's what I took out of that feedback was your opening needs to be stronger. So I improved my opening. Not every feedback needs to be exactly taken exactly what they say, but you need to be able to take the feedback and figure out how you can make that, like show that judge the next time you get on stage that you've heard their feedback. Sandy is not going to see me tumble at the very beginning of this routine. However, she is going to see a stronger opening. So she's not going to feel like, well, she should have tumbled because the opening sucked until the tumbling, right? So anyway, I think that's all of my advice for you guys. I'm headed to the gym for a full out. Let's do it. So shout out to everybody that's coming up on a pro debut. You can do it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, another thing, I'm inserting this clip. Another thing I want to add about like meeting people and it makes the whole experience better. Honestly, being friends with people makes losing a lot easier. Like, because all of us, literally every single one of us is going to lose more often than we win. Being friends with the people you're competing with makes losing easier because you don't take it. I mean, obviously, like if you worked really hard, obviously, like you're going to take it as hard as you're going to take it. But it's easier to be happy for someone who beat you if you have a connection with that person, right? So like, I just think of Titans last year. It was my last chance after getting 3 second places in a row. It was my last chance to qualify for the Olympia, and I got second place. But you know what? I was so excited for Taylor. I was so happy to see Taylor. In fact, Taylor was the one that said, hey, Andrea, come do this show. We should do this show together. I was so happy for Taylor that it made me getting second place and not qualifying for last year's Olympia a lot easier. So anyway, that's, like I said, again, a big part of this. Yes, the competition is a competition, but the bigger part of it is the relationships that you form. So don't be afraid to make friends.